Welcome to Headphone News, International Edition for Friday, January 31st, 2025.
French budget negotiations heat up ahead of no-confidence vote. French lawmakers are ramping up talks on a critical budget bill for 2025 as they prepare for a potential no-confidence vote against Prime Minister François Bayrou. This budget is essential for restoring investor confidence and keeping the government afloat. The panel, made up of 14 lawmakers, is working behind closed doors to reach a compromise before presenting the bill to the lower house next week. Investor concerns are mounting due to the lack of agreement, prompting the government to offer significant compromises totaling billions of euros. The opposition Socialist Party is unhappy with Bayrou's comments on immigration, which they feel do not reflect the views of many citizens. As tensions rise, left-wing parties may not hold a majority on the panel, but they could sway the outcome in the lower house, where a no-confidence vote against Bayrou could happen as soon as February. Eric Coquerel, head of the Finance Commission, stresses that the Socialist Party's position will be key in these negotiations. The results of these discussions will have major consequences for the French economy and the daily lives of its citizens.
Germany's political shift on immigration. Germany is facing a significant political shift as far-right politics gain ground. The opposition Conservative Party, the Christian Democratic Union and Christian Social Union, or CDU/CSU, has received approval for a proposal to greatly limit immigration. This initiative has the backing of the far-right Alternative for Germany, known as AfD, breaking a long-standing taboo against collaborating with them. With a national election set for February 23, 2025, the urgency is palpable. Friedrich Merz, the CDU/CSU leader, is pushing for stricter immigration policies after the arrest of an Afghan asylum seeker linked to violent attacks. He proposed motions to enhance security and close Germany's land borders to irregular migration. While the border closure passed narrowly, the security measures were rejected. Chancellor Olaf Scholz and the Green Party opposed these motions, warning that working with the AfD could undermine Germany's democratic values. As tensions rise over immigration policy, the future of coalition building in Germany is becoming increasingly uncertain.
Checkpoint Software Technologies reports strong Q4 earnings driven by AI growth. Checkpoint Software Technologies, a top player in cybersecurity based in Jerusalem, Israel, has announced remarkable fourth-quarter earnings for 2024. The company achieved over $2.5 billion in revenue, fueled by the rising adoption of artificial intelligence in its solutions. In the fourth quarter alone, earnings hit $2.70 per share, a 5% increase from the previous year, with revenue reaching $704 million, surpassing analysts' expectations of $699 million. Product and subscription revenues rose by 9%, totaling $463 million. As part of its strategy to boost shareholder value, Checkpoint repurchased 1.7 million shares valued at $325 million this quarter. CEO Nadav Zafrir highlighted that geopolitical tensions and advancements in AI will continue to drive growth. With a robust cybersecurity platform designed to thwart attacks across various networks, Checkpoint is well prepared for future challenges. The stock has risen by 9.2% in 2025, reflecting strong investor confidence in the company's innovative direction. As the demand for effective cybersecurity solutions grows, Checkpoint's strong performance positions it favorably in this dynamic industry.
Market update, economic shifts and corporate reactions. Market conditions in Asia are experiencing significant fluctuations this week due to various economic factors. Investors are closely watching the latest financial results from major U.S. tech companies and insights from Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve. While rate cuts from the European Central Bank and the Bank of Canada provide some support, uncertainty arises as President Donald Trump hints at a potential 25% tax on imports from Mexico and Canada, which could disrupt trade relations. In the corporate sector, Apple's shares fell after disappointing earnings, while Nvidia saw a sharp decline due to news about DeepSeek. Conversely, Tesla and Meta enjoyed gains following strong earnings reports. Notably, Japan's SoftBank is reportedly in talks to invest $40 billion in OpenAI, highlighting a growing interest in artificial intelligence. As markets in China close for the Chinese New Year, trading in South Korea and Taiwan will also slow, leading to lighter market activity across Asia. Despite the recent ups and downs, the overall mood remains cautiously hopeful, with the S&P 500 index down just 0.5% for the week. What does this mean for you? Stay tuned as we keep an eye on these developments.
Russian drone strike in Ukraine kills civilians. A recent Russian drone strike in Sumy, Ukraine, has tragically taken the lives of at least 4 civilians and injured 9 others. This attack, occurring shortly after 1 a.m., underscores the nighttime tactics often employed in military operations. The drone used was identified as a Shahid drone, frequently deployed by Russian forces in the ongoing conflict that began with Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the strike, calling it a terrible tragedy. Since the conflict escalated in February 2022, the United Nations reports that over 10,000 Ukrainian civilians have lost their lives. Civilians continue to suffer from attacks on essential services, leaving many without heating and running water. In addition to the casualties in Sumy, Russian drones also damaged a hospital and 2 apartment buildings in Odessa. This ongoing violence highlights the urgent need for a resolution to the humanitarian crisis affecting millions.
Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation hearing. Tulsi Gabbard, former U.S. Representative and President Donald Trump's nominee for Director of National Intelligence, faced tough questions during her confirmation hearing in Washington, D.C. Senators from both parties expressed doubts about her ability to lead the nation's intelligence agencies. Gabbard's controversial past, including her defense of whistleblower Edward Snowden and her comments on Russia's actions in Ukraine, raised significant concerns. Senator Mark Warner pressed her on her views regarding Russia, while Senator Jerry Moran insisted she must clearly denounce its actions. Gabbard acknowledged Snowden's lawbreaking but also recognized the serious issues he exposed. Her shift from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party has aligned her with Trump. The outcome of this hearing could reshape U.S. intelligence policy, especially regarding foreign threats. As the nomination process unfolds, her ability to gain Republican support will be crucial if she faces strong opposition from Democrats. What could this mean for the future of U.S. intelligence?
U.S. jobless claims show unexpected drop. A recent report from the U.S. Department of Labor revealed a surprising drop in unemployment claims, with initial applications falling by 16,000 to 207,000 for the week ending January 25, 2025. This figure was significantly lower than what financial experts predicted, suggesting a stronger job market than expected. However, worries linger about job opportunities, as a survey from the Conference Board indicated that fewer consumers see jobs as plentiful, reaching a 4-month low in January. Additionally, the belief that jobs are hard to get has risen to its highest level since October 2024. Companies are cutting back on hiring due to ongoing tight monetary policy, while employers await the impact of President Trump's policies, including tax cuts and tariffs. The Federal Reserve has kept its benchmark interest rate between 4.25% and 4.5%, following a reduction of 100 basis points since September 2024. Ongoing claims, reflecting the number of individuals receiving benefits after the first week, decreased by 42,000 to 1.858 million. Despite this decline, the unemployment rate stood at 4.1% in December 2024, highlighting the ongoing challenges faced by job seekers. What does this mean for those looking for work? The job market may be tightening, but the fight for employment continues.
SoftBank's major investment in OpenAI. SoftBank, a leading Japanese conglomerate, is negotiating to spearhead a massive funding round for OpenAI, a top U.S. artificial intelligence research organization. This investment could reach up to $40 billion, boosting OpenAI's valuation to an impressive $300 billion, up from $150 billion just a few months ago. The potential funding from SoftBank may range between $15 billion and $25 billion, with some allocated for Stargate, the joint venture with Oracle and OpenAI. This initiative aims to invest as much as $500 billion to keep the U.S. competitive in the global AI race, particularly against China. As discussions progress, the involvement of major players like SoftBank and Microsoft highlights the growing interest in AI. This funding could lead to groundbreaking advancements, transforming how businesses operate. What does this mean for the future of AI and our everyday lives?
Intel's financial challenges and future prospects. Intel Corporation, located in Santa Clara, California, has reported a quarterly revenue of $14.26 billion, reflecting a 7% drop from last year. This decline has raised worries among investors, especially since analysts had expected $13.81 billion. Over the past year, Intel's shares have fallen by about 60%, highlighting significant concerns about its performance. Looking ahead, the company anticipates first-quarter revenue between $11.7 billion and $12.7 billion, which is below analysts' average estimate of $12.87 billion. Intel faces tough competition from NVIDIA in the artificial intelligence chip market, while demand for its traditional server processors has decreased. Recently, Intel decided to shelve its upcoming graphics processing unit, Falcon Shores, leaving it without major new products for AI customers. The recent leadership change, following the ousting of former CEO Pat Gelsinger, has sparked questions about the company's long-term strategy. As Intel navigates these challenges, it must manage investor expectations and prepare for future growth in the AI sector.
Giorgia Meloni under investigation amid foreign investment concerns. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is facing an investigation that could have serious implications for her leadership. This inquiry is linked to the release of Osama el-Masri, a Libyan police officer accused of war crimes, who was arrested in Turin but released due to procedural errors. Meloni worries that this investigation might harm Italy's reputation and discourage foreign investment, especially after the Norwegian wealth fund, Norges, recently boosted its holdings of Italian government bonds to over 8 billion euros, or about $8.56 billion US. Despite the controversy, Meloni's party, Brothers of Italy, still enjoys strong support, with approval ratings above 30%. However, the political climate raises concerns about the economy and foreign investments, as investors may become cautious. The outcome of this investigation will be closely watched, as it not only affects Meloni's future, but also Italy's international standing and economic relationships.
DOJ challenges HPE's acquisition of Juniper Networks. The U.S. Department of Justice is taking action to stop Hewlett-Packard Enterprise from acquiring Juniper Networks for $14 billion. The DOJ believes this merger could lower competition, allowing HPE and Cisco to control over 70% of the U.S. market, which might lead to higher prices and less innovation for consumers. This lawsuit marks the first major antitrust move since Trump took office, raising concerns about a market dominated by just two players. After the announcement, shares of both companies fell by about 2%. HPE argues that the acquisition will enhance its artificial intelligence offerings and improve its product lineup. The legal proceedings are expected to last around 8 months, with a key deadline in October 2025. The outcome could significantly impact the technology industry and consumer choice. What does this mean for the future of tech?
Global investment in low-carbon energy surpasses $2 trillion. Global investment in low-carbon energy has crossed $2 trillion for the first time in 2024, according to Bloomberg NEF. This achievement shows a growing commitment from countries to develop cleaner energy sources in line with the Paris Agreement. However, experts warn that we are investing only about 1/3 of what we need to reach net zero emissions by mid-century. To meet this goal, we must invest around $5.6 trillion each year from 2025 to 2030. Last year, funding in low-carbon energy grew by 11%, hitting a record $2.1 trillion, mainly driven by renewable energy, electric vehicles, and battery storage. Despite this progress, the growth rate has slowed compared to previous years. Mainland China led the way, contributing $818 billion to the total investment, a 20% increase from 2023. This report highlights the urgent need for more investment in clean energy technologies to combat climate change and achieve global sustainability goals.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's headphone news. News summary brought to you by AI.